I'm so glad to be here with you for this next month to 2 months. I'm going to be your sweet voice of reason inside the Beltway. And firm, factual, objective, upbeat. I am here to assure, inform, and encourage. I'm not here to fight with anybody. I'm here to tell you the president is doing a great job. The vice president is doing a great job. The task force is doing a great job. Every frontline person out there, doctor, nurse, ambulance driver, ER technician, lab technician, thank you. We're here to help you. And mostly I am here to help you. This audience, which has grown for 20 years. By the way, it grows bigger today because we've added Super Talk 92.9 in the Tri-City area in Tennessee, Kingsport, Tennessee, Johnson City, Tennessee, Bristol, Virginia. Super Talk 92.9. You now get the Hugh Hewitt Show 6 to 9 a.m. every single morning. Great to have you. Right on the border. And the Tri-City area, I'm very happy. Kingsport, Johnson City, Bristol, I've known about you for a long time. Knocked down your door finally. Great to welcome you into the Borg that is the Hugh Hewitt Show. For a time such as this, there is a show such as this. And by that I mean, I know you don't want the negativity. You want the information. You want the positivity. I think you heard that yesterday. I was on Meet the Press. My regular every 4 or 5 weeks, I'm on Meet the Press, and showed up yesterday. And, I had one thing in mind: be factual, assure, inform, encourage. Here's cut number one.
And that one, who should feel better about which poll number, Hugh Hewitt, Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
I think President Trump will look at the Washington Post poll this morning and be very, very happy. But I also don't think anyone should focus on the polls. It's going to change so dramatically. America has a hell of a kick, Chuck. You know that. It's like Eric Liddell in the Chariots of Fire movie. We're just gearing up. And if the country does what I think I see it doing, this army of responders, this surge of helpfulness, I think that the president will benefit from that because the country is coming together to fight this invisible enemy.
Gene Robinson?
Yeah, I want to agree with Hugh Hewitt. I do think the country is gearing up in a very important way. The old Bible verse, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning." I think we must realize that there is a joyful morning on the other side of this, and I think that the country, once it gets in gear, I think will hopefully do better than it now looks to contain this.
See, I think Gene is right. Gene was quoting scripture. And for my listeners in Johnson City and Kingsport and Bristol, I'm a believer. All right, so you're dealing with a full-fledged Christian here. If that's not your cup of tea, it's not a faith-based show, although I'm a faith-based broadcaster. It's a secular show. But my heart, sang a little bit that Gene was doing the Gene thing. Gene and I agree on nothing. Nothing. He's a Michigan fan. Honest to goodness, he's the seventh ring of sports hell. But I love the guy. We don't always agree. Cut number two.
Hugh Hewitt, what is the bigger danger there? The president picking silly fights with governors that look off-key, or the president not feeding his base the sort of pugilistic nature that they've grown to love? Right? Like, I get that in the president's head, that's what he's concerned about.
The biggest danger is not to take the danger as seriously as he appears to be taking it, not to step back from the podium, go out there every night. Of course, Vice President Pence is a great balance, but he has to continue to be the very strong presence in the press room that he's been, because America at this time, as after 9/11, as after Pearl Harbor, this is a existential crisis for the world. We have to lead not just America, the world. Yeah. I think his biggest danger is stepping back. He's got to lean into it, and he's been doing that, and I'm happy about it. I want him to continue to lean in, but I'm encouraged by everyone. The first cut on the show, first thing I had to say on yesterday's Meet the Press, cut number 16.
Hugh Hewitt, this is the time when I think someone like you or others would be saying, the president needs to go get a retired general. Remember General Honore, Russell Honore, he ran down in the Gulf area. It feels like there needs to be a take-charge personality here when it comes to this procurement issue.
Well, I think the take-charge personality, Chuck, is in fact the president. I'm very impressed with the president. Eugene isn't. I'm very impressed with Andrew Cuomo. I'm very impressed with Gavin Newsom. I'm very impressed with Mike DeWine. The people I'm not impressed with, I'm not going to spend time slamming. I'm impressed with people who are exhibiting strong leadership. They're not always going to be right. But I also like the fact, the person I'm most impressed with, most Americans won't have heard it, Benny Gantz. He is the Israeli political leader who stepped back and laid down his ambitions to serve the common good in Israel and join Benjamin Netanyahu in a government. I think that's the moment we're in, where people have to lay aside their partisan differences and work. And I must say, Vice President Biden really impressed me by modeling the best answer most people can give. I don't have the information to answer the question you asked, Chuck. I thought, way to go, Mr. Vice President. If you get asked a question, don't shoot from the hip. I think most people need to hear that message. So that was my entire day. Now, it's the weirdest Meet the Press I've ever done. We're not around a table. We're in 5 different studios. Chuck did it's a very difficult thing to do. If you're not a radio guy, I'm used to this, but I never juggle more than 3 guests, right? That's the max that we do. He had to juggle 5 guests in 5 segments. He caught a lot of heat yesterday. Chuck did a fine job. And listen to me, especially those of you who share my faith. Do not slam anybody right now. You have no idea what's going on in their life. None in anybody's life. I'm not saying there's anything going on in Chuck's life. I don't know. But I'm just saying I watch people on TV, and I say to myself, I don't know if their mom or dad is in the ER with this virus. I don't know if their brother is around the clock exposed in an ambulance driving situation. You don't know. Dennis Prager, I hate to, compliment Dennis Prager. Everybody knows that. But my friend Dennis once said, after Tiger Woods had all the wheels come off, you never know about anybody. And Dennis was right once. You never know. In this season, which is going to go on a long time, at least another month, probably 6 weeks, is even if we're lucky. And by the end of April, the 15 days, which have become 45 days, do not become 60 or 90 days. If we begin to slowly say, okay, and especially if we get the antibody test, which is it's the golden key. Do you understand? We've got to know who's had it. Because once they've had it, they can't infect people. They're going to wear a crown. We're going to give them like a sheriff's badge to a bright, shiny, this person is safe badge because they've got the antibodies. Couple of pieces of good news. The FDA got their act together last night at 11 o'clock, and they approved the Ohio company Battelle's sterilization. Our mask supply just went through the roof because Battelle has produced a machine that will sterilize masks. Yesterday, midday, the FDA said, you can sterilize 10,000 a day, but that's it. They have the capacity to do 160,000 a day. Mike DeWine's head almost exploded, as did mine. I'm going to talk to the Ohio Attorney General coming up next hour about what the FDA's got to change. The whole scientific world is focused on this disease, as it should be. And we cannot have bureaucrats. God love them. They do their job in normal time. They've got to, on therapeutics and drugs and interventions for this disease, move at the speed of light. So the word got up to the vice president and the president, and the FDA got religion. And it was a crazy ruling. 10,000 masks a day, okay? Either they were killing 10,000 people a day by approving masks that would not work, or they were holding back masks from 150,000 more people a day. And Battelle's going to ramp up, and everyone's going to buy it. And God bless Battelle. Of course, Ohio's going to save the country. We all know that. Sorry, Tennessee. Sorry, Virginia. But it's Ohio that matters. It always has been. And you'll learn, Tri-Cities 92.9, that this is an Ohio bias show. And then in England, every morning I read the Telegraph. Great. They have developed a new CPAP, been used in Italy and China. Mercedes FI team helps to create breathing aid to keep coronavirus patients out of intensive care. All right, so again, that's a Brit. God bless the Brits. The free world will come up with the designs we need in the next 30 days. But I'm going to talk to you after the break about what you can do. Preview. Adopt an ER, adopt a fire station, adopt a police station. Hospital administrators, put up a website on what you need. You can't drop off baked goods. No one's going to eat cookies dropped off. Too many nuts in the world. But I mean, Gatorade that's packaged, sparkling water. You can help your first responders, and if you know their families, just adopt them. I'll be right back, America. Time to pitch in. That's what we're doing on the Hugh Hewitt Show.